Hey guys, hope you're all doing well. So tonight I'm going to be playing a couple games with UW Tron here. I do plan on taking it through a modern daily soon, but for now I'm just doing some practicing, so I'll just be playing in the tournament practice room. So if you're not familiar with the deck, here it is. It's pretty straightforward. The idea is to use the Urza lands to get a lot of mana, and then utilize the card Gifts Ungiven to abuse Unburial Rights, getting back Elishnorn and Iona, and there's just a lot of other powerful stuff in between. So I'll start with the mana base over here. You got your 4 Celestial Colonnades, they're one of your win conditions. I play 1 Flooded Strand just to kind of smooth out the mana. It's important in this deck to make sure that you have plenty of colored mana. The Tron lands are obviously very good, but you do need a lot of colored mana to function as well. There's the 1 of Ghost Quarter just for value, and also because you can get it with Expedition Map. And then there's 2 Hallowed Fountains, an island, a snow-covered island, a snow-covered plains, and that's because island and snow-colored island actually have different names. So if you need to cast Gifts, which lets you get 4 cards of a different name, and you're looking for lands, it's a desperate situation, but it does come up, then you can put both island and snow-covered island as part of the package. And then we have 2 Hallowed Fountain and 2 Seachrome Coast. And the reason for that is preserving your life total is very important in this deck. So there's just 2 Hallowed Fountain to try to minimize damage when possible. And that is all supplemented with Azorius Signet, which honestly is one of the best cards in the deck. It's incredible. Giving you access to the colored mana is very, very good. When you get the Tron online, tapping one of the Power Plants or Mines gives you a Signet. It ramps you, which lets you play Gifts on turn 3 instead of turn 4. Azorius Signet is excellent here. So the other artifact kind of mana we play is Expedition Map. Most decks are playing 2 right now, but I'm playing 3. I've played the deck for a long time, and I've always been really happy with Expedition Map. I like to have it on turn 1. It just gives you a lot of options, I feel, so I'm currently I'm happy with the 3 for right now. There's also lots of situations where just being able to go get Ghost Quarter to disrupt other people's Celestial Colonnades or Tron lands is excellent. So 3 Expedition Map, 4 Remand, just for tempo and to kind of maintain control while you get your plan online. 1 of Snapcaster Mage, because again, when you're casting Gifts Ungiven, it's very good to have Snapcaster Mage to either recur something as part of the package, or just later in the game being able to recur some of the stuff that might have got put in the graveyard because of gifts earlier. Next we have 4 Thirst for Knowledge. Thirst for Knowledge is an incredible card. I don't know how many of you have played with it before. I used to be a vintage player a long time ago. A long time ago. Right around the time when actually Gifts and Thirst for Knowledge were printed. And if any of you are familiar with vintage, you'll know that Thirst for Knowledge is currently a restricted card in that format. And it's because it's so good. When you draw 3 and just discard an artifact that you don't need, you're getting a ton of value. It's more broken in vintage than it is in modern, but it's still a very good spell, and I often find that people don't really respect it like they should. So there's a lot of times where people will not counterspell it or not remand it or whatever because they don't respect the power of the spell, and it really is a good card. Next, 4 Path for removal, a Timely Reinforcements, just because you do need time to get your game plan online, and having the life total boost and blockers is integral. It's very helpful. 3 Wrath effects, all of different names. Wrath of God, Day of Judgment, Supreme Verdict. That way you can Gifts for all 3 and a Snapcaster Mage and still have access to 2 of the Wrath effects. 1 Condescend, because it's a great counterspell and we often have the mana to abuse it. 1 Sphinx's Revelation, same because it's an X card and we often have the mana to abuse it. And over here for our top end, as I've said, Elishnorn and Iona are great targets for Unburial Rites. Oftentimes, if you draw them, you will have the mana to just hard cast them. Iona is a little harder because of the triple blue, or sorry, the triple white, but it's still very, very hard castable, especially in the late game. And obviously, either of these cards will go miles as far as winning you the game. Ugin is a recent addition. When he's hit the table, I've been very impressed with him. For obvious reasons, the card's spectacular. He's a little tricky in that you can't Unburial Rites him, but as a new addition to the deck, I've been pleased. I haven't gotten to land him a lot of times yet, but I can't imagine him taking him out of the deck. I think this is a good home for him. And I do play the one of Wormcoil Engine just as a backup big fatty creature. Wormcoil Engine is amazing against everything that's not Path to Exile. One other thing to consider in the deck is the Unburial Rites I have here. There is no black source for it. If you look here in the mana base, you'll see I do not play any black mana. With the 12 Tron lands and the 1 Ghost Quarter, mana is already tight as it is, so playing a black source it's not worth it to me. I'd rather have the 3 basics to avoid getting Blood Mooned out. So let's have a look at the sideboard. The sideboard's a little wacky right now. It's not like a lot of the other lists, but I'm trying something new with it. Like I said, this is just some practice rounds I'm doing, so no money lost or anything like that. But what I've done is, with the exception of Leyline of Sanctity, everything else is a one-of. That way, when I sideboard and I cast gifts, I have a lot of options as far as gifts piles goes. So, for example, I've got Ghostly Prison, Favor the Mighty, Celestial Purge, Disenchant. Like, all of these are fairly effective against Twin. And if I cast gifts and they're all in the deck, I can get these 4 cards and know that I'm going to get 2 sideboard cards out of the pile. The exception to that is Leyline of Sanctity, because Burn is very popular online, and you have to be able to beat Burn. So 3 Leyline of Sanctity, that's how it is. But everything else, I can put in a mix of things and still get gifts piles where I can have multiple options. Probably the most dubious card in here right now is this Delay. I found there are many matchups where you're going to cast gifts, or you're going to want to cast gifts, and you're not going to be in a good position to go for the Unburial Rites combo for whatever reason. But if you can just go get 4 counterspells and get 2 of them in your hand, it puts you way ahead. And from that position, you can secure the game. So I like having 4 different counterspells, although Delay is definitely weaker than the rest of them. I like having that option. And with Remand, it gives you 5 counterspells and 6 counting the Continent's End. So I feel very good about that. I haven't had a lot of time to test it, so it's possible it comes out, but it's something I'm going to try. So yeah, that's the deck, and let's move on to the matches.